Dundee too tall. But I had a feeling that YouTube was giving me less views because it looked too aggressive. So, you know, but yeah, let's weigh out 40 grams of protein in total. This is like a coffee flavored protein, coffee hazelnut mocha, something like that. We're going to go in with 20 grams of that stuff. That's going to bring our sweetness. And another 20 grams of unflavored concentrate, whey concentrate. And we'll make us a little brew. Coffee in the sorry, tea in the morning. Yes, I spent too much time around Brits. Where's my other cup I wanted to? Who's? Oh, here. Alrighty. Now tea bag in. I need to get some good British tea again. The stuff you can get over here kind of sucks, honestly. But yeah. Got our tea. Go in. Hi there. So anyway, for a morning routine, now let's go in with, here we're gonna have about 5 grams of beta alanine. Andy, what's up, bro? Didn't expect to see you in here. Right, for protein powder, we're also gonna add some real cocoa powder, some proper cacao, not that stuff you get. You know, not those drink mixes. This is like 100% ground up cocoa beans, basically. Just going to add some water real quick to the protein powder till it gets clumpy. You see, this is, let's give you guys a bird's eye view of everything I'm doing. You're going to be able to tell a bit more what's going on. This, it was just clumpy, but now it starts to come together and form like a paste. Yeah, baby. That's almost already too much, but yeah, you want it to be basically like Nutella or something like that. That's the consistency you want. And it will thicken up a little bit. Yum. And that's going to go on top of some pancakes. So basically, we're eating chocolate pancakes, but we have almost no fat and as much protein or more protein than carbs in this meal. So really good macros. Now we're gonna weigh up like 40 grams of flour. That's what I usually go with for the day. For this meal. Nice. Got our flour. Little bit of salt. Might have been a little much, but in that case, let's just go in with a bit more flour. Whatever. Hi there, Teal and Elena. Helena. Not sure how you like your name pronounced, but hi. When in this bottle, I also have my 5 grams of creatine, by the way. In with 1 egg. You could also just use egg whites if you wanted super lean, but 1 egg yolk is probably just making it a bit healthier. It's not bad for you in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. You want this to become basically like a paste before adding any water. And now actually I'm going to go in with a little dash of maple syrup in our batter, yes. Not in the actual, not on top of the pancake, but in the pancake, in the pancake batter. That's the consistency we're looking for. And now we're just going to carefully add a little bit of water. Just drop for drop. Mm-hmm. You get a feeling for when it's good. That looks about right. To the trained eye. So let's get it heated up. Let's add a little dash of milk to our tea. Yeah, it's okay. Just don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Yeah, I've got some person. Yeah, there's never mind. I went live to get a bit out of my head, and it's working somewhat at least. Yeah, there's some good dark chocolate cream. Yeah, little bit of some olive oil. And here's the trick with a piece of paper towel. You can spread like a tiny amount of oil really well around your pan. No need for for cooking spray. Yeah, baby. Let that pan heat up properly. Oh, and let's sip some of our tea. I'm sorry. Hey there. Fuck. I was gonna read your comments, but I had a cupboard sticking out a little and hit my knee. Cage match. You already did that. Probably the hippo, maybe the polar bear, unless the dude had a gun or a weapon. Then different story. But without weapons, hippo probably. Just because a hippo can absolutely kill a polar bear, and so that doesn't make him win a fight against an animal. And the thing is, a polar bear has a few vulnerable spots for a hippo, but I don't really see where a hippo is vulnerable against against the polar bear. I could be wrong, but I don't see many spots where a polar bear could do significant damage to a hippo. But I see a lot of spots a hippo could do significant damage to a polar bear, which is why I would lean towards the hippo. And the Komodo dragon, it's not even a he's not even a contender. Even if the bite of the Komodo kills them a few days later, the Komodo is still gonna die. So you already said that on Yogi's live. It is a good movie, but that doesn't make anyone a fighter. Learning to fight is what makes you a fighter. All right, let's go in with our second pancake. All right, now let the pancake cool off a little bit, and then we're gonna add our chocolate cream. So it's five. You said who's coming out on top. You said it was a cage match. You literally called it a cage match. That is a fight. Oh, we have very different ideas on what a cage match is. All right, we're just spreading our chocolate cream evenly over the pancake. You can also just do half of a pancake because you're gonna get it folded over anyway. That's enough if you're lazy. But I find it easier to spread evenly over all of it than only one half. Fold it once and fold it twice. Yum. Then no one would be coming out on top. All would be coming out as equals. Cheers. Hmm. I thought he, I thought he won the Komodo's heart too. If he wins the Komodo's heart, why would the Komodo bite anyone? Hmm. Too bad. Mm. That pancake was exquisite, by the way. Cheers. Mm. And we've got another one. By the way, the reason I keep touching it is to feel like when it's still warm, but not hot, because that's how it's going to end up tasting the best in my experience. If I put the chocolate on while it's still hot, it's not that good actually. But if I wait till it's cold, then it just tastes like cold pancake, which also isn't good. So after doing this for long enough, I've gained a feeling on when's the right time to apply my chocolate or my protein cream. But yeah, it is chocolate flavored. And yeah, this meal, by the way, has 40 grams of protein. 40 grams of protein is pretty damn solid. And I like a light meal in the morning. And this is actually easier on my stomach than a shake. For some reason, shakes usually, like at least the typical protein shake, they sit kind of heavy in my stomach. So yeah, voila. Mm, I have tried eat coffee flavor, just a lot of strong coffee in the protein. You can also just use protein powder that is already flavored and mix it up like I did into a cream instead of something liquid. Make it more like a cream and then spread it on some pancakes. You could do that with any flavor. I just like chocolate. No, because I like chocolate, but you can try it. Mm-hmm. Last two bites. Oh, and I'll wash my mouth real quick. Okay, better. I don't know. I don't know Austin Powers. Doesn't really does ring a little bit of a bell, but I don't. I'm guessing it's another movie. Couldn't tell you. They can clone dogs now. Yes, they can. So, I mean, they could a long time ago, but now they've actually been doing it somewhat regularly. I mean, that kind depends what you count as a person, you know. And this is not a philosophical channel, so I'm not gonna go into it much. But there, of course, there have been human embryos getting cloned and stuff like that. But yeah, look, the technology is there, so either people are gonna do it or they're not won't. And knowing people, sooner or later, someone will do it. I won't. I don't think so. But this is like not really. No, I wouldn't. I I should die out with myself. There's too much stuff fucked up about me, but let's not get into that, okay? And you've been like on the border of being a troll anyway, Timothy. Wait a minute. Did you took the name from that guy, Timothy, like that character from that one guy who does a lot of shorts and stuff with Timothy working for the devil. That is where you took your name from, isn't it? Now a lot of your stuff is starting to make sense. Uh, do you know who I'm talking about, though? It was from an episode of The Office. Oh, okay. You should, because it is pretty funny. But yeah, basically a guy acting all nice and innocent who never did something bad. Well, only one time, him actually, kind of, as a kid or teenager. But anyway, his story is he ends up going to hell, and while he always acts nice, but when the devil asks him for some advice and he won't say anything, he would never, and then but what would you do hypothetically? And then he puts out an evil master plan that even scares the devil. So that is Timothy. That is yeah. You should Google it. Timothy and devil. If you just Google that on YouTube, you're gonna find the shorts. Might make you laugh. It's just a pretty fun mini series, I guess, or how whatever you'd want to call it. As a creator, he also does like he does this kind of thing really well with different characters. Also, as a friend, first giving terrible advice and saying, "Oh, you could just do," which was actually good, sane, solid advice. But first, he suggests some kind of evil master plan. That's another one of his characters. So yeah, you should definitely go check it out, especially with your name. No, no, it's one like it's several characters, but it's one guy playing all of them. Ah, what is he called? I don't know, but it is one guy acting as all of the characters, but he does it so well. It's not a bad thing, like at all. It just works. But yeah, gonna have some plums now. Uh, Zwetschgen. It's like a German kind of plum. Or it's probably not German, but it's common in Germany. They're really good. And I do eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, just usually not for breakfast. Actually, it's a workout channel, so the food is also fitness related that we're doing. That is why I'm having protein pancakes, and later I'm gonna have some vegetables with probably some lean fish and or some TVP texturized soy protein, maybe tofu. But yeah, because I'm not in the gym every day, and I also need a license to film every time I do film in the gym, I decided to also put some cooking content in. And also, there's so many misconceptions about healthy eating and what it entails that I do feel like it does make sense for me to also do some cooking content or diet stuff content or whatever you want to call it, you know. But to also just have some stuff about diet, not just about working out. Yeah, and you know, this meal, of course, it's missing vegetables and or fruits, but the macros are amazing. And we literally all we did was we put some protein powder in a bowl. We added some flavoring, but you could also use just a flavor you like that already comes in a package. Added a little bit of water till it became like a paste or a cream. Then we took some flour, an egg, mixed that up. Yeah, I added a sprinkle of salt and some maple syrup, but you don't have to. Added some water. Then we made two pancakes and spread our chocolate or protein cream mousse, whatever you want to call it, on top and ate it. That's it. Not complicated. And as long as you have another couple of meals with some fruits and vegetables, you could eat that stuff 3 times a day if you want. And that's still a pretty healthy or at least decently healthy meal and a lot healthier than what most people eat. So my diet is very healthy, but you can. I'm also about making healthy eating simple and accessible. You don't have to do it like I do. Like the reason I have this meal is because it is easy on the stomach and it's fast digesting, which is a good thing because I haven't been eating all night because I've been sleeping and or trying to sleep, waking up, whatever. But yeah, my vegetables usually just go bad. Frozen vegetables. Simple trick. Frozen. I rarely buy fresh vegetables, to be honest. Also, it's more work. It's easier if I just have the bag and dump it somewhere. But another thing that I like to do is peas. Instead of, I just have like a little piece of fish or meat with like 300 grams, so half a pound to a pound of of green peas. Just cook these peas both quick or fry them up a little bit in a pan. Throw my piece of meat. You could also have a piece of tofu if you like. And then you have a high protein meal, and the peas are both your vegetables and your carbs. I can also cook like elaborate and make like a single meal that takes me 5 hours to cook. I do that stuff too, but not as much anymore. And for health, it's not absolutely not necessary. But yeah, for culinary reason, you can. Or you can be even lazier, mushy peas. Just dump a pan of this. How do you make tofu taste good? Um, First, you need to try a few different brands of tofu. Like, go to, I don't know what your local supermarkets are, but just go to your local supermarkets. If they have different varieties, just buy one of each. Maybe not all at the same time if you're not going to eat them all, but buy a few different brands. Try them raw and try them cooked or fried, like just seared on each side with a little bit of soy sauce, for example. And you're gonna find that some tofu just never tastes good. Some brands they just crumble and get dry, don't really have any flavor, and the texture sucks as well. Those you're just never gonna buy again. Easy. But you're also gonna find some that are, this is moist and mm, luscious, and the texture is really good. Maybe you're even gonna find some that already has a good flavor. If not, you just have to season it. Soy sauce, garlic, onion, maybe even some lemon, olive oil, sesame oil. Sesame oil is a great flavor enhancer. Sorry, this is actually flaxseed oil. This is sesame oil. Great flavor enhancer. You can drizzle off over at the end. But like most tofu that is not smoked, I like to to just fry it up. I season it, marinate it, then I sear it. What I like, do you like tuna salad or chicken salad or egg salad? A sm- you can go 50-50 of your animal protein, let it be tuna or chicken or egg, and then half is going to be finely chopped cold smoked tofu. You need to get the right smoked tofu, not the gritty, crumbly kind, but the luscious, juicy kind. And okay, but all it really is, you just take the tofu, chop it, the smoked tofu, chop it up, dump a can of tuna on top, a big spoon of mayonnaise. If you want some garlic and onion, but you don't have to, just mix it up. You're done. 50-50 tuna and tofu, for example. That's one way I do it. Or actually, or or mackerel. I find canned mackerel even better. Yes, you can. Although I prefer tofu out of a pan, in a pan, honestly. I think it fries nicer in a pan because the edges tend to burn a little bit in the air fryer, but you can still do it in the air fryer. But yeah, and like TVP texturized soy protein, this kind of stuff, or they also come in like bigger chunks. If you have that and you mix it with some meat, it can taste like all meat. And it actually has better macros than real meat, so it's a win-win. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed now. It's like 6 a.m. I wasn't scrolling, honestly, just kind of bored. Yeah, don't worry. I've been having a lot of stuff on my mind and something serious. Let's just say last night something bad happened, and it could be either bad or it could be terrible. Not to me, but to someone I really care about. So I'm also a bit beside myself. And don't worry, I get it. So yeah, well, have a nice day and good night. Yeah, I think I'll end it here. Have a nice day. Dundee out. Peace. Ciao.